Progress.
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. It is Military Monday. I love my Military Mondays. It's a whole different spin on, oh, it's Monday. It's like I get excited for my Military Mondays now. Like, what else are we going to talk about? It's another Military Monday. So, welcome. This is Vanessa Donaldson with Your Life Beyond the Military. And I have Tracy Latona with me today. As you've been noticing, if you noticed and signed up to attend, that she is a financial coach. She's in the financial industry, a military spouse. So we're both spouses, a lot in common, both on the retired side. So we want to be there to work with people, like she said, with a growth mindset that want to dive into their finances. Maybe it doesn't look so pretty under the rug, but like really just be aware of it so you can move forward. So, because we really want people to live, what did she call it? Live your golden years in prosperity. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be better than getting out and realizing, oh my gosh, all these bills, and I thought it would be different, and I thought I'd just be sitting on a beach and maybe impacting others and doing all this charity stuff, like whatever your dream is, and things just get put on the side. So we are there to dive into that today, to get some nuggets from her, because this is her wheelhouse. This is what she does. She does one-on-one financial coaching. She does workshops, speaking engagements. So you need some Tracy Latona in your life if you're in the military community. So her LinkedIn is also under here, and her business is Golden Rose Financial Coaching. I love that. So welcome, Tracy, to our little show today. And let's just start off with like a little summary of where you were when you got into the whole military scene, getting married, and then where you are today and what you're doing. In like 2 minutes, No.
Right? 2 minutes. Go. Vanessa, thank you so much for having me. It truly is an honor and a joy to be here and be able to serve your audience. Hi, guys. My name is Tracy Latona, and I am a veteran spouse. My husband is a Army veteran. He did 6 years in the Army with 2 tours to Afghanistan. And we got married when he was on his first R&R from his first deployment. So for those civilians, that's that 2-week break that you get from a year-long deployment. We were dating before he joined the military. 6 months after, he's like, hey, I joined the Army. What? And a couple years later, we got married. And it was that time. So we got married a month after I graduated high school. I was 19, he was 21.
Wow.
We got married stupid young. We were babies. And when we
and let me just pause you. Getting married on R&R, like that's just like a Netflix series right there. Because how many military couples start off that way? Like, oh, we're like between moving parts already. Like, oh, we only have this 2-month window, just us. Like we're having a baby, like between deployments. It's crazy. So yeah, getting married like on R&R. I love that. That's a book. But anyway,
yeah. So the first 10 months of our marriage, he was actually overseas in Afghanistan. And when he got back, I finally moved down to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he was stationed. And that's where we started married life. And that's where the foundation for what I do as a financial coach got started. Because nobody taught us about finances. Nobody taught us about communication, how to have a money conversation with your spouse, how to budget, how to save, how to stay the heck away from debt. Pardon my French. And so when we got married, there was so much money stress and tension. We had the split bank accounts because I already had money trauma, and there was a lot of fear, and it was rough. Like we had collectors calling. We didn't have credit cards yet. That stupid came later. That was my fault that got us started.
How do you have collectors calling before you even have a credit card? Is that like school debt stuff or
personal loans? Lots of personal loans. And just, it got to the point where we were so broke. I didn't have a job yet because there were like 10 job applicants per open position. This is right after the crash of 2008. And they didn't hire military spouses back then. And our bank account was so far negative. It was like $727 in the hole that the bank froze it. Wow. It was a week before payday, and we didn't have any food in the house.
Oh my God. I'm getting just chills and goosebumps. I did not know that backstory. That's crucial to what you're doing now because you lived it. You were on the other side suffering and going through all that pain with no direction. And now you can be there as a testimony on the other side. So yeah, it sucks to go through that, but there's always a gift or opportunity on the other end, right? So, oh my gosh. So what did you do then? No food. It's the one of the number one stressors in military marriages. And when I talk to clients too, and I go through intake forms, where's finances on the list? Always at the top. Maybe like 1 or 2% are just like, oh yeah, I know my husband's a lawyer or a doctor, this or that, and we've got it all. And we've been doing investing since we were, babies. And yeah, but the majority, it's the number one stressor. And it's also one of the biggest causes for divorce too, right? It's communication and finances. So anyway, continue. Look, I'm getting excited.
You're good. So you asked, what did we do? I took our change jar down to a local bank and I set it up on the counter and I said, I don't know what caused me to say this. I think I was just feeling sorry for myself. This is what I have to feed my family for a week. And the bank teller laughed at me.
Did you have children too now?
No, we don't have any living human kids. We have 5 fur babies currently, but we had like a cat.
You got to feed that too. Yeah.
Right. So that was I had it moment when she laughed, was I never want to be in this situation ever again. I remember that rage, that cold sweat and hot flushed face, and just being so angry and just scared that I never wanted to be in this situation ever again. But we still didn't know how to change our situation. So fast forward, my husband goes through another deployment, and that extra hazard pay helped pull us out of the hole. Then shortly after that, he transitioned out of the military, and we moved in with his parents briefly to get on our feet. And his dad, who served in the Marine Corps for 13 years, got out as a drill instructor, voluntold us to take this stewardship class, and it was Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. And
voluntold us because you're living under their roof temporarily. I'm going to volunteer.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like, you can't say no to the dude. I mean, he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I swear.
Oh my gosh, that's what they used to call my husband in our dating years. We're in Italy, literally. I left the Peace Corps and he's climbing some rock mountain, and all these Italians, I didn't speak any Italian, but they literally were looking up there pointing at my boyfriend, the rock, and they're like, they were literally speaking Italian, calling Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, so we've each got our Arnold Schwarzenegger there. Or it was the father-in-law, right?
Yes.
He was here. It's an intimidating position to be around. So
right. But that was the class. That was, for me, that was the turning point where it was like, oh my gosh, this is how you do a budget. This is how you get out of debt. This is how my husband thinks about finances. I had never considered, and to this day, most couples don't think to consider to ask their spouse in a non-judgmental way what their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are about finances. Needless to say, we did not follow the principles. And before, you had mentioned divorce and money and communication. We actually went that route 7 years into our marriage. We got divorced. Money and communication were 2 of the big reasons why. It was,
and you got married really young too. 19 and 21, did you say?
Yeah, I was 19 and he was 21. Yeah.
We had like all odds against you at that point.
But God.
Cliffhanger.
It was during that time when I truly learned what it meant to live my life for Jesus. And it was during that time that he genuinely gave his life to Christ. 9 months after we got divorced, the Lord brought us back together and we got remarried.
My goodness.
We decided we're going to do things differently because the first time clearly didn't work. So
you're living in the flesh too more, right? I mean, neither of you were equally yoked without that God as that center foundation. Like, I always have this triangle thing, like God at the top, husband, spouse, right? And like, you got to bounce it off all together and go up there. So you were doing it all in the flesh, all on your own. And that just leads to non-biblical thinking, non-biblical truths. And there's a result of, okay, the me world, the me monster comes out.
Oh yeah.
Blame, and then separation, divorce, and now we're on to the reconciliation side of the story.
Yes.
My gosh, I'm just going down a whole roller coaster with you.
Yes. So we decided to dust off that Financial Peace University kit and go through and create a budget together. We created a plan to get out of debt. We're now debt free, and really started to work on communication. Now, it took a lot of time because we still had our own money traumas from before we got married. So that was kind of like a hurdle for us to overcome. So what I get to do, Vanessa, and to those listening, is I get to walk alongside people who are stressed and scared and anxious about their finances, who have this vision or even that place of where there's something better out there. I just don't know what it is. And I get to walk alongside people and have that flashlight and hold it to the path at their feet to help them walk those steps and be able to come alongside of them with encouragement and accountability and being like, hey, I'm hearing this. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's bring out those patterns, shine some light on those patterns, and create new mindsets and habits and behaviors with your money to break that cycle that you're trying so desperately to get away from. That is what I get to do. So I have gone through Dave Ramsey's Financial Coach Master Training. I am a Ramsey Preferred Coach. I have my own company as a financial coach. I meet people where they're at. I don't preach rice and beans if that's something that's going to make you fall off the wagon right away. Like, that's a big hurdle for a lot of people.
What do you mean by rice and beans? Like living on rice and beans? Like you tell them like we need to redo your grocery list now. Let's stop buying the high-end Ritz cocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah. But ultimately, I have the honor and opportunity of helping people really envision where it is they want to go. And sometimes people are stuck in that trauma cycle where they can't see past Tuesday. They're just trying to get by day. Okay, let's work on a crisis plan first. And then once things get settled down, where is it you want to go? And let's create the systems and the processes and the plan together to help get you there.
And also, I would say, from my experience with life coaching, your past has a lot to do with, your worldview of everything. So the financial money side of your past, what you grew up with, whether it was scarcity or abundance. I mean, my mom was a World War II child. She was 3 years old in Berlin, Germany, with World War II going on, with Nazis taking over. They actually took her dad away at age 3. Off he went into a concentration camp. So she lost her dad at age 3 and grew up living out of trash cans and bomb shelters and back and forth to Poland and back. I mean, I got to do a whole other memoir just on her. She's 84 now, and she'll be doing the Alaska and Canada road trip with us this summer. So I'll get a lot more nuggets on that. So that explains why I have kind of a scarcity mindset that I need to be aware of myself when I'm making decisions. And I want to hoard everything and not spend it. And I'm extremely frugal. In a way, it's good to be frugal, like with the van life, and we're still living in abundance. I have abundance in so many other ways than just, maybe living in a mansion, but I don't need that. I'm fine in my little box that takes me to waterfront views and the beaches of Baja for a month or two. That's abundance for me. So everybody has their own definition of, what that dream or abundance looks like. Yes. But you have to go back and kind of look at your past. That's kind of like the therapy side, I guess, of the coaching. Look at the past to see, why am I thinking this way? Why does my mindset always trigger and go right into this knee-jerk reaction? Oh, maybe because my mom grew up, eating out of trash cans. And I mean, I grew up, you couldn't take food off the plate. If it was on your plate, you ate it. Had to deal with that kind of issue when I got married, and I'm just overeating and like eating in bulk. And my husband's like, what's your problem? I'm like, oh, it's on my plate. I have to eat it. That's how I was raised. And then it was like, you know what? You can put half on your plate. It's okay. You can eat half and you can put it in the fridge. I had to retrain myself because I got so used to, like, I'm living in scarcity. I'm in the US, with plenty of food around me, but I was still raised. If it's on your plate, you eat it. If my kids wouldn't finish their plate at dinner, what did grandma do? Any idea?
Finish your plate.
Finish your plate, or she tuck it away, or they try to throw it in the trash. That didn't turn out well. She will pull that stuff out, and the next morning it will be on the plate for breakfast. This is the kind the kids, they're still traumatized. They need, oh my gosh, they love her now. They've got a close relationship, but we have these talks about, and the spoiled milk, drink your milk. And they're like, Grandma, it doesn't taste right. And then turns out, the milk is bad. So we grew up with that. And so that's something we have to be aware of to move out of that. So yeah, the past is huge. And it sounds like for your husband and you, he grew up with that drill instructor guy that was really into his planning and saving, all that. I mean, he had that all together. And what about your family?
So actually, before my in-laws actually declared bankruptcy while my husband was in the military, and they didn't discover Financial Peace University until afterwards.
Okay. So they went through their journey too with that. Yeah.
And in my household where I grew up, it was, you don't talk about finances or who you voted for because that's nobody's effing business.
Right. Yeah. No communication at all. That's really going to get us further, right? Just like zip it up and sweep it up.
Pretty much.
Wow.
So a lot of the things that I see in clients, because I know that like we mentioned the golden years earlier, is people have this idea of what retirement is going to look like for them. And even if they have Social Security, or if they have VA disability compensation, or if they have a legitimate like retirement from the military, what happens is there's still money struggles. Because what happens is that behavior piece doesn't change while they've had the opportunity to generate more income.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen, and unfortunately, like this is what's happening with somebody that I know. She retired as a nurse thinking, I have X amount of dollars. Life's going to be great. I'm well cared for and taken care of. And was continuing to take out DoorDash for nearly every meal, isn't doing a budget, is throwing money at her kids to help them when they're stuck. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, I've got to go back to work. I've got to pick up as needed or PRN jobs to be able.
And what age range is she now?
She is late 50s, I think.
Right. So she should be thinking she's retiring now. This is your example. Like, okay, I should be retiring. I was a nurse. I got some nest egg going.
Yeah.
And not reality.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's a mindset out there that Social Security or my retirement is going to take care of me when I retire. And in some cases, that is enough. In most cases, it's not. I'm working with several clients right now who are veterans. They do have disability compensation and retirement, but what's happening is they're still spending more than they're making. Mm-hmm. So the number one tip that I have for you, for everybody, is to create a mission for your money, AKA a budget. I like to call it a mission for your money because for a lot of people, budget sounds like a cuss word.
Yes, it's so true. Create a mission for your budget. I like that phrasing a lot more too.
Yeah, creating a mission for your money. So that is basically, it's more than just income minus expenses, because what a lot of people do is they have, I know what my bills are, I know when they're due, I know how much they're going to be, and then whatever's left over we can use for groceries, gas, fun money, entertainment, whatever.
Tithing somewhere in there.
Right. Maybe tithe, maybe give, like depends on what your beliefs are about that. But what a true mission for your money is giving an assignment for every single dollar, giving a mission for every single dollar, and then tracking your transactions throughout the month to ensure that your soldiers or your dollars are doing what you told them to do with the mission.
I love it. I love the military mindset, the mission, and then tracking. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And when you see it written down, it's different than it's in the head. When you actually have a spreadsheet that you can put it on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Exactly. Another thing that I've seen is veterans settle for whatever it is the VA gives them when it comes to disability compensation. When my husband, when my husband got out, he was given a 60% rating, which we were like, don't get me wrong, we were super thankful. We were like, praise God, this is awesome. Thank you. I was saying, thank you, Lord. And like that took care of rent. It was great. Like we both worked. But as the years went by, 9 years after he got out, things got worse. And I had been introduced to somebody who could help outside the VA, because there's a lot of fear about going back to the VA to get reevaluated, because we have friends, we've heard the horror stories of people going back to get reevaluated, and they have their compensation taken away because something else got better. So we went with somebody who worked outside the VA using civilian doctors who just so happened to be veterans themselves, so they knew what was going on. We were able to build a case on my husband's behalf, gave us the paperwork, said, here, file this. And he's now 100% permanently and totally disabled, meaning they can't, essentially, they just can't take away the rating that he has, unless like he were to blatantly commit fraud and they catch on to that, which he hasn't.
Right.
So each veteran, $3 million of benefits available to them once they get out of the military.
Wow, that's kind of the number like per head. Like if we, I love that movie War Games. It's like one of my favorite movies because it just puts into perspective how we are just a number, like it's a commodity, it's like an asset, it's a product or whatever. So if you watch this movie, like within the first scene, they're showing these guys in war. Have you ever watched War Games?
I haven't.
Oh my God. It's like an older movie, but it shows like the soldiers going into action and all you saw is like a screen saying $2,000 helmet, like they itemized everything on the body part down to the shoe, head to toe.
Yeah.
And so that's when it started to trigger, or not trigger, but make sense to be more like, yeah, so everything is a number. Every item on their body is a number. So when you bring in that 3 million of benefits, just like, when you have a baby, they say it used to be like, if you have a baby plan, it's about $250,000 to have your child. Now I'm sure it's double, but the $3 million benefits per service member. That's
so basically what happens is when somebody goes into basic training, the VA knows that they're going to come out different, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. I'm not going to use the term broken because I don't like that language, that terminology. So between compensation, between healthcare, between education benefits, between the other programs that the VA offers, that all together equals that $3 million. So there's a lot of soldiers who are like, I don't want to file to receive my benefits because somebody else out there needs it more than I do.
Oh my gosh, I hear that so much.
That is not the case. That $3 million is set aside for you. That does not affect anybody else.
I love the way you break that down.
I encourage veterans to go out there if they haven't started that journey to have that benefit evaluation. Talk with Vanessa, talk with your county veteran service officer, get that journey going. And then once you have that initial rating, reach out to me. I can get you guys connected with somebody who can help you get that rating that you should be getting. When I added up my husband's percentages, it equaled 360%.
Yeah, way over 100%.
Yeah. Now you can't have over 100% as far as benefits go, but like everything added all together was 360%.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's my second thing for veterans is, number one, for everybody, make a mission for your money, create a feasible working budget that works well for you and your family to help get you towards your goals. Number two, get those benefits that you earned. Get those benefits that you earned. And number three, I'm going to say work with an investment professional. So what I do is I work with people's mindsets and habits and behaviors with their money. An investment professional makes money behave for the person. So I don't sell investments. I can't say, hey, invest in mutual funds and stay the heck away from cryptocurrency. Like, I can't tell you what to do. An investment professional is going to be somebody who can walk alongside of you, help you figure out what your long-term goals are, and help you figure out the best way to get there and make your money grow for you so you can get
My goodness.
Yeah.
This is just a wealth of information. And I know it's only 3 tips, and I'm sure people could spend hours. That's why your clients are with you probably for, a few months. But I'm noticing we do have some people here. Diana Marquez has joined us, and we have Pete. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess up.
Awesome. Hey guys, welcome. It's wonderful to see you here.
Canaliccio. I don't know. Sounds very Italian or
He is awesome. He is a marketing strategist, and he is just top shelf.
And Diana works with Talents Ascend. So she's helping those military spouses. Also financial conversations I've had with her. I've had her on a LinkedIn Live. Same thing. It took her like 20 something applications to get a job. When I moved around they're not hiring military. You mentioned they didn't hire spouses. We're still having those situations now with a biasness because we move around, and I didn't think about it. I thought if I can just show up with my skill set, my credentials, and my master's degree and my resume and my energy, my positive, like, okay, hire. And then it was like, why aren't they hiring, or overqualified, or the whole thing with, oh gosh, she's leaving in a couple of years. Like, it's going to take like 6 months to train her, the learning curve. And then no, not interested. So yeah. And hence you're doing something else yourself. You're your own boss. You're an entrepreneur, and you've taken that route. I've done a little of both. Going to get a paycheck is a lot easier in my mind than working for yourself, right? You clock in and out, but then you're fixed. You're in that boxed life where you got to work on someone else's schedule, and everything is their goal set, right? Like helping them excel and help them make more money. Yeah. So, I worked for a solar company, took care of like 200 something customers, got a customer, employee of the month in March. And by May, I was getting a laid off pink slip saying, okay, now we're going public and we don't need you anymore. And yeah, after I trained 3 younger kids out of college to take my paycheck so when that happens so many times, the entrepreneur world might be a way to go, but that world is also, it takes a lot of investing in yourself, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of discipline. It's not just like, I'm going to work for myself and things are just going to fall from the sky, right? That's a whole other thing. But that's something else, I guess you're talking about with clients too, like what their plan is. Are they going to have a dual income with both going out of the house to work? Are there younger children? So is it better for mom to stay home? And sometimes you save money. In Hawaii, I didn't want to go to work because I looked at the daycare rates, and it was more than if I could have gone out and got a job. So I'm like, I'm not working in Hawaii. I'm staying home with my children. Right. And then you become the room mom and you invest in all those ways. But yeah, it sounds like your tips today are just, make so much sense. A lot harder to do than just to say, which is why people need someone like you. So creating that mission for your budget, I love that. And then using your benefits. Every service member has $3 million assigned to them. That's huge. Didn't know that number, but you're the financial lady. So of course you bring stats into it. And then the third one was, what came my interest, investment professional, like linking up with someone who does this for a living. So you're not just like, maybe, I don't know. So thank you so much. That's amazing information. And I'm so glad that we connected. We connected pretty quick. As soon as we're both on LinkedIn, I'm like, it was like the light beam was just shining on Christian. Together. Yeah.
Can I leave with a 4th bonus tip?
A bonus tip. Go for it. We got a couple minutes.
And these are for those who are civilians who might think that Social Security might be the thing to take care of them. Please don't depend on Social Security to take care of you. Even if you're at that retirement age, I just looked this up 5 minutes before we got started. Social Security average is $1,693 per month. The average mortgage in America today is $1,768. So right now, Social Security isn't even covering the average mortgage payment in America.
It's time to do something different.
You have to have a plan. You have to have a mission for your money. You have to work with professionals to be able to make your money grow for you. You have to get out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle, that hamster wheel, so that way you can invest in your future and live that life that you want for yourself.
And what better person to do it with than someone who's been on the other side, that's struggled, that went through a divorce over it, had in-laws who went through bankruptcy. Like you've seen it all. So this is a golden nugget for the Golden Rose Financial Coaching. She is our golden nugget here. So Tracy, how do people reach you in the last few minutes here, or seconds as we get off? How can they reach you?
Please reach out to me either through that LinkedIn that is under my name on the screen. Feel free to give me a call text at 502-665-1127. Feel free to email me at goldenrosefc, as in financialcoaching.com. Or you can schedule a complimentary financial coaching conversation at ramseycoach.com/goldenrose financial coaching. ramseycoach.com/goldenrose financial coaching.
Well, thank you so much. We might have to have some breakups of other things. There's so many topics we could dive deeper in, but hopefully this brought some value to our audience. Again, I'm Vanessa Donaldson, Your Life Beyond the Military, and you can reach me at resetwithvanessa.com. And if you are struggling with your VA claim and trying to get that increased disability rating, definitely look into me as well. I do free audits for that. And reach out that way. And we're happy to help. We want military community to be thriving on the other side. You mentioned the golden years in prosperity, living your golden years in prosperity. I love that. I say from battlefield to blissful retirement. Actually, my web guy came up with that. I just had a conversation like, I need a website help, and this is kind of the topics, and he came up with that. So I have to give Rob Hull credit. He's an awesome Army veteran, hire military. That's how you thank military service members. You hire them, you do business with them, you buy their products. So from retirement to blissful, or from battlefield to blissful retirement. We don't want to stay in the battlefield anymore, right? So get that hand off the stove. And thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in. Thank you so much, Diana, for joining us, and Pete and anybody else. The replay will be up and all our information will be in there to reach out to us. So have a wonderful Military Monday, guys. Go out there. And if you're feeling stuck and not as energetic and positive, that's okay. There's people in your corner to help you. Just reach out. That's what we're here for. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy, for joining us.
My honor, my pleasure. Thank you, Vanessa.